Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So on the docket for today, we have a lot to get to. We're following up on our cardless stories. 2 more cards they're putting in the lab, and 2 just are fresh off of release. We have BILT Rewards adding a new transfer partner. Venture X kind of sort of on the business side losing a benefit maybe. And of course we have the Citi Strata premiere. It is finally getting close to launch. We have all the details. You can kind of sort of get excited. We will talk about it at length, I'm sure, all that and more. So, of course, if it sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Well, again, this is more of a follow-up from, a week or 2 ago, but Cardless, the company that makes credit cards for everyone else who doesn't have a major partner. Well, they are at it again, so they're back in the lab, this time 2 new cards going on the wait list. That seems to be their thing. I don't know why they think we're going to run out of these cards, but we have Avianca Airlines. Life Miles is their program. They are going to get 2 new cards from Cardless. Of course, there's a wait list up now. No details on the cards themselves, but if you join the wait list, you could get up to 10,000 extra miles on top of whatever the bonus becomes. Now, these will be on the American Express payment network, and of course, you're looking at a $99 annual fee and a $250 annual fee, respectively, on whichever one becomes which one. So, some mid-tier travel cards. Again, the waitlist thing seems to be their thing. It seems to be a thing popping up all over the place. It's kind of like how you'd waitlist for remember when video games had waitlist? I don't think they ever ran out of games though. Maybe when Halo came out, but it's just not really necessary, but if it generates hype, whatever. And of course, we did talk about, American Express, partnering with Cardless for a payment network. So there you go. I don't know much about the airline, so let me know what you're hoping for down below. But you move 2 new cards on the waitlist, which means you actually have to launch something, and now we have the Qatar Airways cards, which we talked about, maybe 2 weeks ago. We have the details on those, so next up, let's take a look here. See if it's anything worth getting. So again, we had 2. So one was a Visa signature card, and then you're looking at a $99 annual fee. It's going to earn 4x. Of course, these are Avios, so you're going to 4x on Qatar Airways purchases, 2 on dining, of course, 1 on everything else. You'll also get, looks like 2 Q points. I think that's their mileage for every 2,000 Avios you earn using your card, and of course, Privilege Club Silver, which is their status. So intro offer, again, you're looking at 45,000 miles, 20,000 of those after your first transaction, which is actually really easy. Then another 20 after spending 3,000 total in the first 90 days. And of course, you could do an extra 5 if you had joined the wait list. That one's already sailed. So that's an interesting way to break up an offer. The Big Brother card is a Visa Infinite, so of course you step up to a $499 annual fee. I guess not. That's right in the middle for where Visa Infinites go. You get 5x Avios on Qatar Airways purchases, 3 back on dining, 1 back on everything else. You also get the 2 Q points for every 1,500 Avios you earn using your card. I don't even know what Q points are. You'd think I'd do a little bit more research before this. Their intro offer, 60,000 points or miles. 25,000 after your first transaction. Then, of course, 25,000 plus 150 Q points. Now I should really find out what they are. After spending 5,000 in the first 90 days, and you would have gotten an extra 10,000 if you had joined the waitlist. So overall, there you go. If you like Avios, fine. I think most people will probably be interested to grab some Avios, and I think you can just figure out a way to move them to maybe British Airways or something. I'm sure some travel person will tell you how to do that, but there are your cards. Now, moving right along to a card that everyone loves is the Venture X, but technically the Venture X Business. Now, this is about Priority Pass, and it's very interesting how they're doing this, specifically with Priority Pass, the restaurant perk. We've seen this go on most other cards, and now this is partially going on the Venture X, but not all the way, it seems. So, the way it appeared, and this is from the Good Doctor, that the MasterCard version will retain access to Priority Pass, the restaurants and the other things too, like the Be Well spas and stuff like this, stuff you don't basically care about too much. But the Visa version does not have it anymore, and this wasn't really announced. Someone had just kind of found it in the terms. Now, that is a really odd split to have the MasterCard and the Visa, which maybe is more of a deal with the payment networks than the card issuer themselves. I'm not really sure on that because, again, we saw Chase give up the restaurant piece. The regular Venture X, I think, did as well, which is a Visa. So maybe it's a deal with the payment networks. I don't know too much about how it works. I would like to know more, though. And I do think there's a chance that this is priority pass saying like, look, you got to either pay us more or get rid of it, because I got to imagine the restaurants is not a super common known perk. And I would imagine that the folks coming hitting these restaurants are just hitting them for the minimum, whatever the credit is, $30, so getting right up to $30, and then leave your tip perhaps, and then you're leaving. And the idea is probably like the old dollar menu right before they killed it was like the dollar menunaire campaign, where you were always meant to like add an apple pie or add a cheeseburger onto like your combo meal, your number 5 or whatever. But we just started living off the dollar menu, and that didn't work. So eventually they killed it, and it's a sad day, but we don't need to go down that path of painful memories anymore, do we? So that's kind of my thought why we've seen it. I don't know if it's the card companies. I think it's just probably not working out for Priority Pass or the restaurants in the network, I can imagine. So anyways, that is odd, but let me know if you do know how the partnership's working, and maybe it's more of a network partnership than anything else. That could explain it, but I don't know. I found it interesting though. Also interesting on the travel line is BILT Rewards. BILT Rewards is always, they seem to always be in the news, and they are going after it pretty hard. This time they've landed Hilton as their latest travel partner, coming right off of getting Alaska Airlines and that interesting deal they have there. So Hilton, they put out a whole press release, or BILT Rewards did rather. You know how we love a good press release. So beginning May 8th, all BILT Rewards members will be able to transfer BILT points to their Hilton Honors accounts at a 1-to-1 transfer ratio. That's what you'd like to see. They do say stay tuned for additional benefits and promotions between Hilton Honors and BILT Rewards, as this week is just the start of our partnership. So again, you get to transfer in increments of 1,000. Not too bad. BILT Rewards Blue members must transfer at a minimum of 2,000 BILT points. So not terrible. If you're a higher status, silver, gold, or platinum, you could do 1,000. So cool. And then they also have this other part in a first for BILT Rewards. All BILT. I feel like I should read this in a more excited voice. BILT members who transfer BILT points to Hilton Honors between May 8th and June 8th will receive 1,000 bonus Hilton Honors points on their first transfer. BILT members can link. Yeah, you know how to link your account. So I think the transfer bonus is pretty cool. And I will say, like, I like the Alaska partnership, how they brought in BILT Rewards. We talked about it like a month ago, how they brought in the actual Alaska cards and give them a little bit of boost there and brought them into the BILT network. If you're a Hilton fan, you have the BILT card. Honestly, you might as well you have 1,000 points to spare, you might as well just transfer 1,000 and get 1,000 free points, because why not? That's easy enough, especially if you stay at Hilton. So I do like it. I say this every time we talk about BILT. Like, I want to know more about how these things work, because BILT is still its own company, but Wells Fargo is a lender. You guys have each other's phone numbers, and like, it just makes me think that like Wells Fargo is very close to being dangerous with the transfer partners, because BILT has everybody, and Wells Fargo needs a lot more of everybody. So I feel like there could be something there, but again, I just don't know enough to comment, because I don't know how it works. But just wishful thinking, because our last Q&A we did, like, I'm pretty sure that Wells Fargo is like really close to being the best travel setup for non-luxury, non-American Express stuff. But anyways, who is ready to get back into travel, perhaps? Well, that is Citi, because at long last, the Citi Strata is going to be here. It's coming out next Thursday, I believe, for applications. I will be applying, because there's an intro offer. We'll talk about it. That's really the only reason to be excited, because it turns out the Citi Strata Premier is basically the Citi Premier with a new paint job, which isn't really a bad thing, because the Citi Premier is a good card. It's actually an underrated card, but it's more of Citi's fault than anything else. But let's take a look at it for a refresher anyway, shall we? So Strata Premier, again, annual fee $95, multipliers 3 back on restaurants, on supermarkets, on gas and EV charging, on air travel and hotels, 1 back on everything else. Benefits, you retain the $100 off a single hotel stay of $500 or more booked via Citi Travel once per year. Intro offer, why I'm excited, sort of. Spend $4,000 in 3 months to get 75,000 thank you points. I like the Citi Premier. I think the Citi Premier, in the pantheon of $95 travel cards, I would probably go Autograph, Journey, Citi Premier, then Chase on their own, right? Autograph Journey's credit is easier to use. I can book directly. Yes, you get more 3x multipliers here. it gets a little tougher when you bring in the ecosystem. But even the ecosystem of earning points, Citi, again, has the custom cash, and you can have a lot of custom caches, and you can have a double cash, which, is pretty handy. So, I think the Premier just, because Citi never really handed out the travel insurances, and you're never really sure what you get on the Citi card, even though they are MasterCard World Elites. That doesn't help their case. But card for card, the Citi Premier is pretty good, and so it's just a rebrand to move it to the Strata line, which I guess makes sense. The bonus is somewhat disappointing because the high offer on the Premier was 80,000 points or $800. So, usually the launch offer is about as high as it gets. So they're shortchanging us about $50, which makes me sad. I will apply. Of course I will apply. I will apply the day it's available. I will likely be denied because I'm on a cold streak of getting denied a lot. But, we'll talk about it next weekend. Gives us something to talk about, right? Overall, again, I think it's fine. You're just rebranding stuff. No big deal. It is somewhat of a disappointment because we're hoping for a new card and you're just getting a new card art, basically, and a new name, which doesn't really help anyone do anything. So from that aspect, it is kind of disappointing, right? You would have also hoped it would have been a separate product, so then you could have the Premier and they get the Strata bonus as well, but such is life, as they say. I do think this tells us a lot about what they're going to do with the Strata Elite. I think this basically guarantees the Strata Elite will be a rebrand of the Prestige, and I don't think it'll be like the good Prestige, like the 2016, 2017 version that everyone loved, because it had that unlimited fourth night free. Again, like, we're far removed from that now, but like there was a time when the Prestige was like how we thought about the Sapphire Reserve when it came out and the Venture X when it came out. Like, the Citi Prestige was like the card, and it was like $450, $495, something like that. So I don't think it'll be that version. The Prestige still has, I think the fourth night free thing is just capped at twice a year, which is still pretty good. By all means, it's pretty good. And the Prestige still a good card. So I think it'll just be a rebrand of the Prestige. If you're gonna just rebrand the Premier with the same thing, I don't really see them getting too far out of the box, really. So I think you're probably looking at max $500 annual fee. I don't think they'll go to $550. They're definitely not going to $700. I think they'll go to $500. Maybe $450. But $450 just seems too low. I think they do $500. Maybe $520. $500 to $525 is my guess, and I think it looks just like the old Prestige card. Maybe with a few more coupons. I do think you look around and you see a lot more people doing the coupon game. So it could be coupons or credits. I don't think it'll be anywhere near as aggressive as like an American Express would do, but I do think you see some coupons maybe. Because there's still a push to make some of these cards also feel more lifestyle-ish, so you don't have to travel a ton, so you can get value out of them. So we might see them skew a little bit that way. But it would be nice if they had some kind of travel portal multiplier. Maybe. I just don't see that. Really, only Chase is the only one who does that. So it's somewhat disappointing. But again, when the Strata Elite comes out, we'll have a new bonus to go after. Now, springtime does seem to be the time that you would release cards. I can see why you wouldn't release them back to back, because you want maybe people to apply for this, and then you can move them up. So it's entirely possible we don't see the Strata Elite this year, actually. I could see them pushing it off to next year. So I get people in the door with I sell you the $95 annual fee card, and then maybe I come out with the Strata Elite next year, and then I can talk you into upgrading the card, because again, maybe there's rules around it. Maybe there's Sapphire rules around it, like you can't have both, to save themselves from paying out, $750 and then turning around and paying out another, $750, whatever the bonus ends up being. So I could see them doing something like that. Not to hit the market twice, and have people have to, pick one immediately. Just, I think that's my guess. That's what I'm going with. Time will tell. Let me know what you think down below about, Citi. What were you hoping for? What do you want the Strata Elite to be? What would it take for Citi to pull you back into their ecosystem? Because again, I'm convinced that Wells Fargo is really close to winning the trifecta game, but I think I might be in the minority on that one, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong. I think they are, but Citi could still steal it back. I do think Citi is in a very important, very precarious position, and how they do this could have huge impact. Again, Premier pretty good, Strata still pretty good card. I like it over the Sapphire, But the Strata Elite, it's still going to have to come out against favorites like the Venture X, like the Sapphire Reserve, which people still like in masses, and Wells Fargo still has a card up their sleeve as well, I'm sure of it. So, I think it'll be pretty interesting. We'll leave it there. I'll turn it over to you guys in the comments. We've talked long enough about this, so tune in next week to see if I get denied for it. Let me know down below. We should take a poll down below. Let me know if I'm going to get denied or not. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the news. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel as we're posting content just like this every single week. And, of course, right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And, of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com. That is the channel's blog. We have the latest news stories like the Strata Elite coming, or Strata Premier coming out. We'll have the Strata Elite when it comes out too. Of course, we have bank promotions from Citi. Why not take all their money while you're there? And of course, we have credit card offers, not from Citi. They pulled their links, but we've got others like those elevated Sapphire Reserve and Preferred offers. So if you want to try out another trifecta, well, at least try the one that's paying the most. That, is any gives a place any to start. Always link down below for you and on the channel homepage. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon this week.